This is where my raised chair sits when I'm not using it, in the corner of the living room. I don't mind that my friends and guests can see that I'm an enthusiast slash geek, whatever. I think it's fine. It's pretty easy to get over here since it's on wheels and not so heavy. And this corner is pretty much useless anyway, so yeah, might as well use it for something. Sometimes I take the front section off so it's just a seat, then it doesn't look so messy. Like I said, enthusiast. The accessories for the chair are over here. Joysticks, handbrake, harness, spare subwoofer, 5-point surround. This is the custom handbrake pad I made. The gear lever sits on either side, so this can go on both left and right side of the steering wheel. It's some might recognize this logo, Fraps. That's a real gear lever from an old Apache 127. It's a micro switch down here that is engaged when you pull back, and then this spring pulls it forward again. The spring could be stronger, but it will do. Mini jack for the output. I have made all this with mini jacks, all my custom connections. If I'm going to make any further ones, I'll be using that again. This is copper tubing for plumbing. This is actually some of the most expensive parts in just you know, hobby stuff. Alright, I'm going to show you how to simply remove the shift column from the left hand side, because I want to make a right hand drive car. Over here, this goes below on the outside, and it's held in place by the shift column. Shifter column. Here we go. Now that's in place, the only thing left is to connect the handbrake with a mini jack. Let me just show you how that's done. I opened up the shifter and I actually mapped all the buttons here and here to mini jacks on the back side. While I had them out, I also colored these so they correspond to the Xbox 360. And as you can see here, they are all connected here in mini jack form with a little indicator. The top two ones are not in use. I intended to have a set for the let's see if we can do this. Yeah, easier. For the sequential shifter, but unfortunately that's not a button, it's an axis. So, fat chance, I couldn't figure that out. The handbrake is usually the red button. That's also why I have a red sleeving on the cable. So plug it in, and now whenever I push the handbrake, it will correspond to a press on the red button here. Simple. I also have a shift resistance mod, both the spring effect when you push down so you don't accidentally go into reverse when it's in the H shifter mode like this. So it's a bit more, offers more resistance when pushing down now. Also, this spring has been tightened. Chili Coke has an excellent article on this on his website. I'll put a link in the description stuff. So both of the shift resistance and reverse mods have been made. Very nice. I highly recommend it. It's much more enjoyable, especially the shift resistance mod, and it's not that hard to do. So give it a go. Obviously, Momo wheel instead of the original G25. This is a 35 centimeter wheel. I picked this one up especially because it only has 2 buttons, and I wanted just 2 buttons, not all over the place like some of them are, because I wanted to correspond to the original steering wheel. These are both, I don't know if we can focus on this, probably not. Both of these buttons are originally connected together to the horn. So it's actually 2 buttons for one function. So I cut them up and connected them like the original steering G25 wheel buttons. So they each can be mapped as their own function. Chili Coke adapter in anodized aluminum. Very, very nice. Very great stuff, thanks. And shifter paddles also for the increased diameter of this wheel. You should note that once you go for a wheel with a bigger diameter, you will not feel the force feedback effects as much as you do with the stock wheel. But it's offset, I mean it's offset by the fact that it feels more nice, much more nice to drive with. So I would highly recommend it anyway. What else? Oh yeah, reverse mounted pedals. Also, again, Chili Coke has an article on this on his website. These can be, let's see, these can be removed quite easily. Not now while the cables are connected, but these keep it from falling down, and these keep it from falling in. So when I want to take it out, I push here, and it clears. Just, I was lucky. It clears, and I can just pull it up and remove it. The cables that are normally inside the brake, the pedal assembly, the wires are not really meant to go externally, so they are very thin, and I recommend that get some, desolder them or whatever, put them apart and get them inside some nice sleeving instead of this. This is just insulation tape, and that's a pretty crappy solution if I'm honest. But put them inside some nice sleeving so they are protected more. That would seriously extend their lifespan, I think. The wheel, the seat is as you can see, a Sparko wheel seat, and it's mounted on a platform from a Volkswagen Transporter. Don't ask, I just got it together with the seat, and it slides on these rails just fine. Handle down here. So it slides not freely. You have to put some force into it, but it's fine. Mounted on 6 wheels, 2 underneath each side of the seat, and one at the front. The ones at the front and the rearmost ones can be locked. Not so easy with your fingers, but it's fine with your feet. And the locks really do work. It doesn't jiggle about at all. Let me show you how the harness installs. I just installed the harness on one side, and I'm going to do the other one. I have a 6-point Sparko racing harness. It's a real racing harness, but it's expired, so I got it pretty cheap. It's about, well, cheap. I think I paid about 90 bucks. Yeah, something like that. So these are for mounting it. And the rear belts are simply fastened to this to part of the frame. So as you adjust the seat position, they get a little bit tighter, but it's usually that's when you change drivers, so it's not a problem. So here you have it, 6-point racing harness. And no, it's not necessary, it's completely pointless, but it's still fun. And it looks cool, and you feel cool when you're driving it, and you cannot go anywhere. You cannot even, if you put your phone or something up here and your arms are not long enough, sucks, can't get it. And of course, quick release, and everything falls apart, like it should. I like to drive without this if I'm driving for a long period, the crotch belt, because that's the most annoying one. The rest are fine, but that one sucks. Okay, now we are about ready to go racing. Just briefly, this is the beast that is delivering the beauty. It's a Core i7 970 with 24 gigs of Aviation core series memory, a 1200 watt power supply, Corsair, a couple of solid state drives and 2 Velociraptors down here, and 2 GTX 590s from Gainward. Yeah, you'll have to take more in SLI. This is yeah, pretty neat setup, and if you wanna watch more about it, there's an build log video in 5 parts about how I got all this stuff mounted. So that's running, and I'm currently charging my NVIDIA first generation 3D vision goggles, active 3D glasses. Forgot to charge them, oops. I have a couple of extra sets, so if I have guests over, they can also watch while we like to watch each other's races while we wait. This is probably the most expensive candle holder. Yes, that is valves, and yes, they are broken. Anyway, 18-ware 3D monitor, 23-inch, natural point track 0.5, head tracking, NVIDIA transmitter, receiver, whatever, transmitter I think it is. For those of you who don't know TrackPoint, this little fella is an IR camera that sends out an IR light and senses the return from these 3 pads. So this is the passive way of doing it. These are just reflective pads mounted on a cap. There's also the Track Clip Pro, which is here, a USB connector, and you put this on your headset, and then these 3 prongs at the front are IR diodes, so they will send out IR light, and this is much more useful, much more exact and precise if you are in a lit environment. So if there's sunlight in here, that's the way to go. But if it's just normal, like now, closed blinds, it's fine to just use the passive one and just put it on a cap. It's more comfortable. So let's get racing. Alright, let's get ready to race. sequential, 3D, and track IR. Honestly, track IR is not so great for racing, but I suck. Been a while since I played. Okay, now we're going to swap the racing setup for this. Logitech G940. And this requires a bit of tools, just some 13mm hex. That's it. So I'm just gonna park the camera and do some magic time lapse. just wanted to talk briefly about this particular shape. Hello. This might look a bit strange, and no, it's not, because it looks more like a spoiler or something. Wing. It actually follows the profile for the Steel Battalion controller for the original Xbox. This platform is made to accommodate that, as well as Logitech's. So it's a 3-in-1 solution, and the pedals fit underneath, and the big ass game controller with 2 joysticks and 40 buttons and all that fits on top. I just haven't gotten around to actually fixing nuts inside it so it can be secured, and also I want to do some vibration mods and whatever, so I haven't gotten around to it yet. No! Anyway, so on with it. So now the Aviation rig, whatever, is assembled. The joystick and throttle controls are mounted onto a hardwood plate. It's pretty durable, so it shouldn't be any problem. Even after prolonged use, it's not a big deal. I intended to make some holes for the pedal assembly, but I never gotten around to it, and it sits okay. I should just make these 4 holes here, and the opposite side, and then that's done. But it works like it is. As you could see, I have another keyboard with some nuts, inserted, glued to the bottom, so I can secure it. You really need a keyboard for many of those games, so. The Logitech's split throttle
I have eyes on multiple armored units, tracked and wheeled, mounted elements.
They're retreating back into the mountains. Yukon 5, Raptor 1-0.
This is Yukon 5. Go ahead, 1-0.
We have eyes on multiple armored hostiles at grid Zulu Foxtrot 631084. Requesting permission to engage.
Copy, Raptor 1-0. You are free to engage. Over.
Copy. 1-0 out.
Nice work. Target eliminated.
Locked and ready for engagement.
Spotted a target.
Located a target. Moving in to engage. Men, let's hit some of these bridges. Choke off the roads.
We can bottle them into kill boxes.
And send them packing. Ready to engage. Gotcha!
They're locking on us.
You're under enemy surveillance.
Locked and loaded.
They spotted you.
Enemy forces have locked acquisition radar on us.
Got him padlocked.
Got them padlocked. Enemy target has been located.
Target destroyed. Locked
The chair can also be used without the front brake. Let me show you how to remove it. This comes off. It's fine to leave it on, but just for demonstration, I'll show you how. The bottom plate has 3 guides with some rubber in the bottom so it doesn't make noises. That's it, 4 thumb screws, butterfly screws or whatever you want to call them. That's it. And now to put it back together.